knew it. Another Heard At Media production.
Good morning, Chantal.
Good morning, Roxanne.
Ooh, someone has a morning voice.
Cool.
Oh, wow. Wow, this morning already, huh? How's your summer been?
I mean, our summer just started.
Did it though? It's June 18th.
Yeah, summer hasn't even started. June 22nd is when summer starts. So
Technically, summer starts like in June for me first. And
yeah,
it's just been bipolar, huh?
I think it usually starts like when like kids are out of school, which just happened for like a lot of people. For you, I know you guys have been out of school for a minute, but like a lot, like the public schools just like got out of school like last Friday.
Wow.
And that's our summer. But no, I feel like why the weather has been so great the last like 5-6 days. So it's like it's up to you to take advantage.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's very nice to hear. It's up to me to take advantage. Meanwhile, my corporate job and all that stuff.
No, of
I
course. I mean,
feel
I even
like,
work too, but like after work, we'll go outside. Like even just like being able to get in your car without wearing a jacket and like crying about the weather. Like this is like what we've been wanting.
yeah, it's like I feel like I'm at that stage where Elle is like she still naps 2 or 3 times a day. So when we take her to the pool club, she's just like I'm not saying I can't wait till next year, but I'm just saying next year will be easier with her. Whereas my kids like need their sleep. So, and she needs to sleep in a pack and play or in a crib. So I'm just like, it has been very different because none of my kids have been like that where they need to sleep in their room or in a pack and play.
Yeah, no, that's hard when you have like a baby and like you
Yeah.
have to follow their schedule and you're like, no, we have our own schedule.
And she's taken 3 steps, but my kids just how old is she now? What, 15 months? My kids just don't they walk later in life, you guys. Not of course Sloan the maniac like walk first out of all of them. Charlie was 14 months, Jack was 16 months, and then she's 15 months. Like you can just tell she's like a few days out. But I'm just like, oh my gosh, I feel like my life will be easier when she walks and I'm not holding her every 2 seconds.
She's there though. Like she's walking. She's just
Yeah,
so
she's
scared to do
so
on her
there.
own. Like she'll walk everywhere if she's touching something. So it's not like there's anything wrong. She's just scared to do those steps on her own.
Yeah. Well, on today's episode, we are going to be talking the Valley and are we talking Next Gen?
We'll just touch up on a couple like topics that came up on the show. It
Let
wasn't
me
that interesting, so
I need to tell you guys something. This is a Love Island summer for us, okay? This is especially for me. This is a Love Island summer. It sucks because on X, if I talk about like Blake Lively, if I talk about anything Real Housewives Valley, it picks up. But when I like, people engage and a lot of interaction on it, anytime I talk about Love Island on X for some reason, it's not picking up. And I'm excited to talk about Love Island because I love it so much. So I know there are a lot of our listeners where they're like, I just can't. I feel uncomfortable watching Love Island, like the kissing, the this. Trust me, I don't like watching that. Half the time I forward the challenges because I'm just like, ugh, this is so ick. And you guys are all dirty to me. Like, this is all very dirty. And by the way, they never kiss as much as they have this season. And that's why they all have bumps on their lips now because
ew.
like fucking disgusting. But anyways, like that is where we are locked in. And I promise just watch it, forward the challenges if you need to. The first 2 episodes of anything suck, but just keep going, keep pushing through, and your summer will be made because you know me, I am not a live girly. I don't like watching shows live. As soon as 8:30 p.m. hits, I'm watching that. Okay. So I'm very much into that. So and Chantel is slowly getting into it where she is watching it the same
No,
day.
the last three like the last this whole week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, like literally fire. You guys, it was
Yeah.
fire. Like I couldn't wait
Yeah,
to watch
no.
it either. So it's there. It's there.
And it's crazy because they just like broke a record. They set a new bar for the series, soaring past 1 billion minutes viewed in a week after their debut. And that's crazy. I mean, it just represents a dramatic 244% increase in viewership compared to the previous week as well, which is crazy. So
Which makes sense because like the amount of attention it's getting like on social media right now, it's crazy. So you're like, what the hell is this show?
Yeah, so just watch it. But I still like my Valley. I just think with Valley, it's the same thing. Like it's the same topics on every episode, you know?
Yeah, literally the same three topics. Ready? I'll tell you them. Jax and Brittany, and then Nia and the Danny drinking situation, which is like this fake situation. And then now we have Isabella and like the custody thing and like just like their relationship. And it's like the same conversations we're having with just different people every single episode.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off, especially the Nia and Danny stuff. It just really gets me so mad. So like I don't even want to see Janet get a high horse on my screen. I hope this girl's humbled out from all the viewers because she just bothers me.
It's okay. She's gonna get a straight reality. She has gotten a straight reality check because not that we're saying, hey, go and like
no harassing, guys. No harassing, but
yeah, no, yeah, like don't do all that. But like you're
but a simple
weird,
like you're wrong.
What'd you say?
I said, but it's just like a simple you're wrong on her posts are fine, but no harassing.
No, like she's just weird. Her energy is so freaking weird. And it's like
she
just
thinks she's
scary.
the queen of the world. Like, I don't know where she got that from.
And her and Jason are like so not even LA coded. They
Him
are,
too.
but they're
Him
not.
too.
I don't know. What'd you say?
I said him too. Like, I don't know where he got his high horse either.
He's so embarrassing, Chantel. So cringe because you can just tell in his household, all he hears is Janet yap, 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 yap. And then he gets all sassy. And I'm like, ew, like this is so scary. This is not cute. Well, on this episode, you guys, Jax gets out of rehab. Jesse picks up Jax, and literally not one thing has changed. Absolutely,
not one thing.
How much was it? 30,000?
I think more. I think it was like 80,000.
Whatever it was, he needs to give that. They need to give him that money back because nothing happened. Nothing changed at all. And
I mean, the fact that you come out and the first thing you're angry again talking about is like what they did last night is like you have not learned one damn thing. Like I don't understand what he thought he was learning in there. I don't know why they gave him his phone all the time or he could see his phone. I don't know because he was spiraling in there, and then so when he came out, he just couldn't wait to talk about it with somebody.
This was literally a retreat with him for him to like be in therapy and him tell people stuff and they just listen while he just like chills and lays down on his phone and has no responsibilities. Like that's what this was at the end of the day. I don't know. Horrible.
I mean, I guess like the best thing that happened was that like he didn't get to have any drugs or drinks for 30 days. So like that can help you like, start to wean off of those things. But I just don't understand what goes on in his mind. Like, why didn't anyone check him in there? I don't get his lack of understanding that he is the issue.
Jax Taylor age 45 years old, you guys.
Yeah,
45 years old, pushing 50, and this is how we're acting. I mean, he looks good for 45 though.
I mean, did you see he was out of rehab after 4 or 5 hours and he's getting Botox?
I'm dying. Gosh, LA. Like, I don't know. Like, how would you feel if right now your husband got Botox and stuff?
I don't mind if they get like one little syringe and seeing how it is just to see because like everyone's doing it, man. So it's like let's just see. But I think it's weird when it's like they're doing it more than we do.
Yeah. Ooh, just yawn. I por favor, you guys, man. No, I agree. I mean, yeah, like it's absolutely not wrong. I don't know why I'm saying that. But
I think Jesse's a good friend though, because Jesse is trying to be like, okay, like let's not worry about that, like he's really trying, but then he's also like not giving into him, but like he's also not being harsh on him. So like sometimes you just need a good friend like that.
Jax telling Jesse that he stopped paying the mortgage when he found out about Julian, like you have a son, and he's like, I don't care, I want to lose my house, and I'm just like. I cannot with men. Like I cannot at all. And
it's a spite game just to get after someone that they hate so much in the moment because the girl decided to leave instead of just saying like what's best for my family and what's best for me and my son.
Yeah. So he finds out about this party that's happening at Jesse's house, and he's like, I'm coming. It doesn't matter. I'm coming. I don't care if no one wants me there. I'm coming. And Jesse, you could just tell, is feeling so uncomfortable. And I'm just like, your priorities are just all over the place. Like, these type of people are the people who did need a 9 to 5. Like, they needed a routine. They needed a job that's a 9 to 5, 5 days a week. And I swear their life would have been so different.
I mean, he grew up in Michigan, so you would think that he was,
Chantal, he grew up in Michigan. He literally had no job, came to LA and became a waiter.
Well, remember when I went to Florida, kind of what was like in that weird situation with that like older guy, and then came to LA.
Oh my gosh. Por favor. Did you hear about that Tyler Perry stuff?
No.
Yeah, he's getting like sued for sexual assault.
Oh my gosh. Why is there not like one big director that has not done that?
Well, and it's crazy. So I saw some of the text, and the text, like, I don't know if it's sexual assault. It's like definitely like you can't be talking to someone like that who you're employing. But oh, you guys, these celebrities, stop worshiping celebrities. They're delusional. Like, he sent a picture of himself to the guy, and he was like, nice picture. He's like, nice. What about like me looking amazing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you guys, these are who we make billionaires. Like, stop. We need to all. That goes for Taylor Swift. Like, just everyone. I'm sorry. We need to stop making these people billionaires. I don't know. Chantal didn't say anything. I was
No,
expecting
because
her
like,
to.
I don't like, I mean, I don't like worship her, but I just love her, and I feel like I picked a good one. So like that's all that matters. There's
Yeah.
some good people. You can't take them all away, but for the most part, like 85% of them are not great. So and they think that they're like something.
I just don't like
But
people
I just
who
think
are,
money does that to you. I think having money and
yeah.
having access to everything changes you as a person.
Yeah, people who are willing to be bought. Like, oh my God, I hate these people. I wish celebrities, I really do wish that they were all canceled and like, just, I don't know. But anyways, so Michelle is with her boyfriend, Aaron, and he gives me like, like, do you feel that with him or
No,
not?
I don't.
He's just like, I don't know. You don't feel like the dumb? I don't know. Maybe, okay, I'm being judgy on him, but
No, I just think they both are just not made for like reality TV.
they're so, you know what it is? They're so dull. Like,
Yeah, like I think she's dull, so that you think that he's dull. She's just like,
yeah.
yeah. So I think that's why.
Michelle's already thinking of a proposal, and she's not even divorced. I can't.
Like
You
literally
guys already
saying,
know how I feel about this.
yeah, no, I know it's too fast, too fast.
So scary, which makes like exactly what Jesse has been saying true, that you've been in this little weird relationship, because I don't know why you're already thinking of that. I don't know why. Even if the dad gets along with Isabella, which is great, but like, it's like, just simmer down, just
Like,
simmer
aren't you
down.
just traumatized from your own past divorce and relationship right now? Like, wouldn't that make you have a pause and say, okay, like maybe I need to make sure like 1000% the next one is good, not better than my ex, but 1000% good for my future and good for my life.
So it seems like she feels that, but it's like, there's no rush. We don't need to rush this. Like, you're not divorced yet. Just like, find yourself. But she's going through a lot. So at this point, we find out that Jessie is saying no about Isabella spending time with her grandmother. And we hear her side. And with what I'm hearing from her side, I'm like, that's gross. I mean,
Yeah.
the least he can do is take Isabella himself to the grandma to spend time. And I'm just like, ew. But you know what, Chantal? And we'll later. Well, I guess let's just go into it, because I do want to
Yeah.
say something, because I love Nia so much. Because later in on the episode, she's telling Jesse, like, she's trying to be the reasonable one and be like, Jesse, listen, like, I know that you have that good side of you. Isabella should be with her grandmother. And when she's telling him, he's like, there's two sides to the story. And it sounds like Jesse didn't know how bad her mom was, and that he just wants to have a conversation with Michelle where he's like, can we just talk about it? Because I just want to explain, like, she's seeing us get divorced, two separate homes. And now she's going to see someone she loves so much. What is that word? Deiterating or I don't know.
Deteriorating.
Yeah. She's going to see that. And we just need to like talk about it. And it sounds like Michelle's like, no, we don't need to talk about it. And I can see Michelle being like that. But Michelle also reminded me of like our uncle used to be married, and he was married to someone who, like, when her sister had cancer, like, she would leave to go see her sister, and my uncle never knew about it. And she never told my uncle that her sister had cancer. And Michelle seems like the type who would not really tell Jesse how bad it is with her mom because she feels like she doesn't owe him that. But I could totally see that.
Yes, but I feel like the one thing that I still just dislike about this whole situation is that, you know, maybe you didn't know how bad it was. Maybe she's telling you no. I think like still like he is still using having his daughter that weekend, trying to go against her. It's like it's still out of spite, and it's like, why can't we just let go for the greater good, you know, in this moment?
I don't think so. I think he got emotional in this confessional, and he's literally saying like, my Isabella has been through so much. Like, she's 5. And Michelle's the type who's like, she's fine. Like, she's fine, you know, like she has a lot of love. Like, she's fine. And he's like, I just want to make sure Michelle and I are on the same page about this and about how we're going to explain. Like,
I know, but this is what sucks about divorce is like at this point when you do get divorced and like you don't get to sit there and say like, hey, let's meet up every second when we want to explain something. I think that's great if you have a great co-parenting relationship, but you guys don't. So then it's like he uses it like he wants that so bad, which I feel bad for him because he wants attention from Michelle still. He wants to feel like a family unit. He wants to feel like that, you know, they're making decisions still together for their kids. But once you get divorced, it's like there's one set of rules at one house, one set of rules at another house because you're not. That's the whole point. Is like you guys couldn't parent together. And so like instead of just saying, okay, like let me just give her this one, he still is like, because she's not meeting up with me, I'm not gonna give her the time then.
Yeah. Which that's wrong. But I think Michelle and my mom was at the stage too.
Just do what you gotta do just to say that get the
No,
yes.
I think Michelle hates Jesse more than she not necessarily loves her kid, but that's how it's coming across because it's like this is for the greater good of your daughter. Like, this should be a conversation. I mean, I think about when my grandpa died, and how do you remember when our Baba Su died? He died in 2002, and I'll never forget. And I feel like our parents weren't really telling us like what was happening, but we knew. And they did protect us in the sense where, which I now appreciate, they didn't let us go to the funeral. And I actually do appreciate that they didn't let us go to the funeral, Chantal, because I feel like that would have been very traumatizing because I'll never forget in the middle of the night when my aunt got the call, we were at my aunt's house. And for some reason, my aunt, like we slept at her house a lot. She always had like a green or red light in the hallway. And it was like super fucking scary sleeping at her house. Like, why is there a red light in the hallway? It was just very Satan vibes, even though like,
no, it was, I had such a different experience.
But I was so scared sleeping out. Like, I was that fucking annoying kid who was like, just like, I can't wait till it's morning. Like, I hated it. And like, I would just like look at the red light in the hall and I'm just like, I want to go home. I want to go home. And I like, listen, I was like, you know, basically an only child. My brother was 6.5 years older than me. And my mom and dad coddled the shit out of me. Like, my dad slept in my bed every night, rubbing my belly because I would cry for him to do that. So, and like, I was just like such a spoiled baby, you know? So I don't know. And my mom, like, you know, like was like all over me all the time. So I don't know, but I was just always like, I always regretted no matter what. And you know what? Chantel's little sister, Chloe, was just like me. We always regretted sleeping out. Chantel, you would think she had no parents or family because this bitch slept out every second. And it was just scary, Chantel. Like, thank God nothing happened to you, you know? I mean, it was just all our aunts and stuff, but still. But Chantel just slept out, but I will never forget. Were you at Auntie Noah's house that night?
Yeah, so I think that they knew something was happening because a lot of us were flip-flopped and like we're sleeping at different people's houses that night.
So you were at Auntie Noah's with me. So it's so weird that every time I felt that and you were at Auntie Noah's with me, it's not like you like coddled me.
I mean, you're just weird. It's like a light that instead they had it as yellow, they changed it to a different color.
You also knew like I did have like anxiety when I was sleeping out and like you just went to sleep.
Okay, we were 10. Go on.
Anyways, I'm sorry. But anyways, so it was like 5 a.m. I don't know if you remember this, but all I heard was like, Do you remember that?
Yeah, we heard her aunt basically like hyperventilating, crying, but we didn't know if she's crying. We're like, is she crying? Is she not? And then we knew in that moment, we're like, oh my gosh, he passed away.
She was screaming. She was like, it was very, very scary. And yeah, and that's when we found out my grandpa died. And my mom, like being the person she is, they had to lie to my mom and say, oh, he's getting worse, just come here. And then because they were scared for her to drive and get into an accident, because literally like that is something my mom would do. And then we found out he like died. And then we went to my aunt's house, who rest in peace. Like, I cannot believe my aunt. Yeah. We went to her house. Like, see, like I do remember that vividly. And they all went to the funeral and we didn't go to the funeral. And I don't know, I appreciate that because I just felt like we're too young. And like we have had conversations even with Charlie right now about, listen, like if we were to ever die. And Charlie yesterday came up to me and she was like, Mom, when I was in the car, I just thought about you and Dad and I just don't want you guys to die. And I'm just like,
oh my gosh.
I per favor, should we have had that conversation?
I don't think so. I don't know. I think like unless someone had passed away around you guys, why are we having this conversation with her?
Because Papa Francisco,
oh, the Pope.
Yeah, the Pope died and she goes to a Catholic school. So like she's very curious. Like if you tell Sloan that Papa Francisco died, this is not funny, but like Sloan literally just this girl. Whereas in Charlie, every day brings up how Papa Francisco died. So she's like, she's like, I don't want to go to heaven and I don't want to die. Like, I don't want to. I want to stay here with you guys. And I'm like, so we like talked about it with her. And I'm like, dude, I do. I don't know. I kind of regret it, but I just make her feel good. I make her feel good about it. I'd be going on ChatGPT and saying, how do I explain this? I swear to God, ChatGPT, thank you. Because they really do not pay for a therapist anymore. Do not. Just go on ChatGPT. They have solid stuff to teach you about parenting, everything. Anyways, my whole thought process on this was like,
first of all, some people don't know their problems, so please go to therapy, you guys.
Right, but like, but you can say that to them, and I swear to God, it's crazy what they say to you. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know. My whole thought process is like that is a very sensitive subject, so I don't know, Chantal. And do you think we should have went to the funeral?
No, I think we were too young still to be there. But in this situation, like, let's say if I'm getting divorced, it's like, do I feel like my co-parenting husband have to be there for those conversations? Like, there's so many more conversations that are going to be had that we're not going to sit there and meet up every single second together and talk about.
This episode is sponsored by Factor. All right, let's be real. Summer with 4 young kids at home is wild. Between work, camps, play dates, and just trying to keep up, cooking is the last thing I want to spend hours doing. That's why I'm so glad I found Factor. More sun, more light, more time to do all the things that make summer so special. And the number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer, spending hours cooking inside. That's where Factor comes in. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, no prep, no mess. And with 45 weekly options, I can find meals that fit my goals and my crazy schedule. I've been loving the Protein Plus chicken meals and the breakfast egg bites. They're actually delicious and they keep me going all day. Factor powers your day from sun up to sundown. And trust me, with 4 kids, that's a long day. I use Factor and you should too. It has seriously saved me so much time and helped me stay on track with eating well, even on my busiest days. Get started at factormeals.com/TRH50off and use code TRH50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code TRH50off at factormeals.com/TRH50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/TRH50off.
Hey cousins, let's talk mental health. I think we all know someone, maybe even ourselves, who could have really used therapy but didn't know how to get started. Cost, insurance, time, it all gets in the way. That's why I love what Rula is doing. Rula, spelled R-U-L-A, is a healthcare provider group that's changing how we access therapy. They've got over 15,000 therapists and psychiatrists nationwide, and they match you based on what you actually need, whether it's a talk therapy, medication support, or both. I haven't personally used Rula yet. I've seen how powerful therapy can be for myself, and I've seen what it could do for my close friends. One friend told me the hardest part wasn't asking for help, it was finding someone to actually give it. That's the gap Rula fills. Rula accepts major insurance, so your session could cost as little as $15. And once you're in, you're not alone. They help you schedule, follow up, and make sure you're moving towards real progress. This isn't some one and done platform. Rula actually cares. If you've been thinking about therapy but didn't know where to start, this is it. Visit rula.com/TRH and take the first step toward feeling better. That's RULA.com/TRH. And when you sign up, make sure to tell them our show sent you. It helps us and helps you. One more time, that's rula.com/TRH. Affordable, personalized care, because you deserve to feel heard.
I guess what I'm also saying is like, really think about who you're going to marry and have children with.
Exactly.
Really, like, honestly, like, I know that we all want kids, or not all, because a lot of people don't. And like, amazing for you either way. But when you do really think about it because of things like this, if you did not like your man the first time you met him, you're not going to like him when you have kids. Best believe, like best fucking believe. I like have someone at work also, and she just came back from maternity leave, and she had like a solid relationship with her husband. And she's like, he is so like already the tension, like she's saying with her first child. And she's like, you know, but he can wake up for tea time at 7 a.m. And I'm just like, dude, like the tension when you have a kid, it's so crazy. Tell me if it's been opposite for you, because I'm so curious. But Chantal, I'm also interested to see how it's going to be with you and Val when you guys have a kid. But I will say, me and Jacob, it was the hardest with just Charlie, which is crazy.
Well, because from 0 to 1, it's like a whole new relationship and a whole new thing. Like you never had kids before, and then when you get more kids, you're like, okay, we can handle it, and like you're just in the thick of it.
I do think with your first, the most important thing is setting boundaries right then and there, so that those boundaries are had for each child.
Oh yeah, trust me, I've learned from you guys.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, because like a lot with Jacob, I didn't set boundaries. Like, you know, I really didn't.
I think it's about communicating. Like everyone's sleep deprived. Like I think, like, you know, at nighttime, if yours are saying crazy things to each other, like you have to just let it go, because in the middle of the night you're just sleep deprived. But I think it's also like just communicating, like really, really, truly communicating and saying, I don't want to have to think like, oh, we ran out of diapers and I have to get them. You just should look and see, oh, we're low on diapers, let me get them.
I know. We were like going to the pool this weekend, and Jacob's like, where's their swimsuits? Can you just, he's like, I'm going to put them all their swimsuits on. Can you just get it for me? And I was like, no, like, come here. Let me show you. Like, let's walk.
Exactly.
I need you now to know, because I'm the one who flips the clothes and does all that stuff. And I'm like, I need you to know. So like when you do it, and now that I think about it, he actually does know, because a few weeks before that, like a week or two before that, he was like, here, he's like, I'll just poop, you can change your diaper and I'll do the kids. And I'm like,
but like, so and why is it so hard to look in drawers and see like, oh, this looks like a bikini, or this looks like a like pajamas?
I don't know. I do feel like men just act really, really like dumb. And I need to make sure my little Jacko doesn't act like that. And he has 3 sisters. So he better not be acting like that. You know,
I think what happens is they really just focus on what they need to focus on. And so like, it's not in their sphere. So until you mention it and bring it up to them, then they're like, okay, because like if any guy, any dad would have to be a stay or like a one parent because God forbid something happened, they would do okay. They like, maybe they wouldn't be as organized as us women, but they would do it. Like they are capable enough to get their kids to school, do their hair, get them to eat something. Like they can do it. But I think because they're not forced to or needing to, like, it's not like, it's like innate in their brain. It's like, it's not there. So like, it's just la la land. They don't care at that point unless you make them have to care.
Well, it's so funny because my brother, he's divorced, right? And I was like to him last week, I was like, come, like, we're going to the pool at 12 if you want to come, or 2 if you want to come. And he was like to me, well, like I have to get and he was like getting all sassy because like I had blown him up, and he was like annoyed that I blew him up because he had texted me the night before and I never answered. And then he went into this whole thing. He's like, well, I'm sorry that you're selfish and I text you yesterday and you don't answer because you think the world revolves around you, and now you're blowing me up today. And I'm like, I had a lemonade stand yesterday, so like chill. But he was like to me, I don't have swimsuits for them. They grow like kids grow, Roxanne. I'm like, yeah, I know that. I bought all their swimsuits in April. And he's like, well, good for you. He's like, I haven't bought their swimsuits yet. And I'm like, we'll do a Target pickup. He's like, thanks, Roxanne. And like, you know, he's in the thick of it too with all that. You know, he was really sassy.
And you think if he wasn't divorced, he would ever in his whole life think about a bathing suit? Never. But like now, because he knows he has to go get it and blah blah blah. So it's like just so funny.
But he's a little late. But yeah.
But they'll get it done. They'll get it done.
I know. Oh, sorry. We just went on a whole tangent. But anyways, okay. So listen, Jason, by the way, he's a loser. He's scary. The men are there to support Jax. Like they all go to a dinner. And Jason tries to act tough.
By the way, like this is the first day. Like, why hasn't he like tried to see his son yet?
But he's saying, okay, so again, we're hearing two sides, like that he's saying that he is trying, and Brittany's like, no, he's not. He hasn't even tried at all. So they go and they like meet up with him to like support him. And if I was Danny at that table, I would have looked at Jax and been like, I will never support you again. Jason like sees Danny after the whole debacle last week. He texts Jason. He's like, man, if I disrespected Janet, I'm sorry, yada, yada, whatever. So he did the right thing. The next day he apologized. And they all meet up, and I don't know how this fucking gets turned to Danny and Danny having an issue. And Jason's just doing the most because Janet is influencing him horribly. And they're blaming everything on Danny. Like Jax looks at Danny and he's like, why would you guys do that to my restaurant yesterday? And Danny's like, why am I getting the blame? And again, this rehab just did not work at all for Jax. It literally didn't, because I'm like, I am so fucking confused here. But I just need to know why everyone's coming for Danny this season.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's because they were so mad that like they got the gold star last season and that people thought that they were perfect, that they're like, let's make sure they do not look perfect this season.
I just think that everyone is so busy projecting their own mess onto Danny when the real issue is Jax hasn't grown an inch and Jason is stuck in a miserable marriage where all he hears is yap, 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 yap in his house. And you need to step up for me. You need to blah, blah, blah. And he's coming across very sassy. So
yeah. And it's funny because Jason probably thinks he's such a good husband. And then he still gets like, you know, he still gets someone to like come at him every second. So he's like, I want these men to feel something because like he's like jealous of like Nia and Danny's relationship.
Who's a good husband is Danny, who literally listens and hears his wife out and doesn't react to her, even if like she's in a mood, nothing. That's who a good husband is. But what do we think about the Janet Nia conversation where Nia talks to Janet and it seems like Janet at this point has practiced what she was going to say in the mirror 100 times?
Yeah, I thought it was just so crazy. Like for you to sit there and say, like, yeah, it is horrible. Your husband sexually assaulted women. Like you guys, like to throw out these accusations, like all these accusations are throwing out at him, like making one mistake and, you know, being a man enough to apologize multiple times. You know, I think that we shouldn't use those words against him. And then also like for them to keep saying like he's a drunk or he has issues, like again, like they're throwing out all these crazy statements at him. Like I would have thrown a drink at her face if she was talking about my husband like that.
Yeah. And then forgetting Nia, or like when Janet tells Nia the conversation and that's why Nia, you said this last week, Nia should stay at those conversations.
I know.
She shouldn't walk away, because at one point Janet's like saying all the stuff that Danny apparently said, exaggerating it, but forgetting to note the shit that she and her husband were saying. So it's like Nia needs to stay at those conversations. Even if she's frustrated with Danny, she needs to just stay because of how things could get spun by Janet.
I wouldn't leave my husband, who maybe had a couple of drinks, and we know he can't handle his liquor, like in those conversations with those people ever.
Janet says that Danny is a different guy when he drinks. Are you a different girl when you drink?
Like, you're asking me, or you're saying about Janet?
No, I'm asking you.
No, like I'm not. So like I think I get a little bit more hyper and more like outgoing, you know, like of course, like that's like the whole point. I think a lot of people like to drink because you get out of your bubble a little bit more. I am not a different person. I don't get depressed. I don't get sad. I don't say weird, crazy things. Like, so I feel for people who get like that. Maybe they shouldn't drink as much, because why would you want to be like that? But no, I don't really change.
Do you think that I'm different when I drink?
Yes, you're definitely crazy.
No, I think I
just don't think you know your limit.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I go from
Danny, like you just don't know your limit, and then you become sloppy, and it's just like, oh my God, Roxanne.
Chantel, You are not going to tell me that I've become sloppy when you've literally been passed out in a bathroom multiple times.
You guys, Roxanne is like talking about like when we're like 21, like drinking at Tigers games.
Chantal, I'm also talking about, okay, I'm also talking about Nicole's bachelor party where you're literally in a bathroom.
A bachelorette. And like, and I'm throwing up. I still don't get like, I still don't act like no one even anytime I get drunk, I swear to God. And if I go throw up, let's say, because I couldn't handle what was in my body, like no one would have been like, oh my God, I knew you were wasted.
So you're saying people would know that with me?
Yeah. The minute you walk into the room, we're like, oh my God, Roxanne's drinking. Because she's just like, it's like, hey guys. And it just goes like, but it's like not a dark way.
Yeah. So like I'm not dark. I'm just loose and fun. And like,
yeah,
like I'm just like way looser.
And people get dark though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know. But this is like throughout this, by the way, this is why I literally can't stand some men. Moving on. So Jax was literally out for 30 days in rehab. And he has the audacity to, when he's talking about like stuff with Kristen, because Kristen's honestly shown me a very different side of her. And when he's talking about like the rehab with Kristen and they talk about, cameras in the house and all that stuff. And he says that I hope Britt was with Cruz while I was out for 30 days. And it's like the fucking balls that you have to say that when maybe you shouldn't have gotten to this point that you're not with your son for 30 days and she's caring for her son when he has a fucking dad who's available, who can also raise his son, and she's out here doing everything for 30 days and you're out here saying, oh yeah, maybe was she even with Cruz? Like what the fuck? Like I'm sorry. And it was so crazy because like Kristen is giving him like the reality and she's like, she was like, listen, I care so much about you. Jax just doesn't want to hear it. It looked like he wanted to punch her.
Yeah, but that to me, the one person that you could talk to and like you should feel that like, has maybe both sides of like my back and has been through everything with me and Brittany is Kristen. So like, why aren't you listening to her? She is the one that it probably can be there for you. It's like he just looks down on anybody because he thinks all these people are crazy. And yeah, they are, but you messed up more than them. And so like your crime is like makes them all look like angels. So just listen to them.
Yeah, he is just horrible. Like he's worse than ever, which I never thought could happen because sometimes like a child could change you.
No, he literally is victim mentality. Everything is woe is me. Everything like, how dare them do this? How dare them do this? It's like, how dare you put me in a position to do this?
But how controlling about Jax and the cameras though? Like that really is scary to me.
Yeah, disgusting. It's power. It's all about power. And like he probably knows like that's the last of it. Because right now, if you go and if you go to like, they go to child what is it called? Custody. And you're like, hey, this guy was just in rehab for 30 days because he's a coke addict and he has anger issues. The judge is gonna give full control to Brittany no matter what. So like he knows like there's no power that he has anymore.
Yeah. You know what I think is messed up is that people compare Jesse to Jax. Like, I think, like, fuck you guys for doing that. That is so messed up.
Or like himself comparing himself to Danny and saying, thank God I'm not the only one that has issues. It's like, are you okay?
Oh my gosh. Danny, like, I am a Danny stan. You will never come for him. I'm sorry. At one point, like throughout the episode, Jax is like, I'm not turning off the cameras unless I see Cruz when they're, collecting his things. And I'm just like, shut up.
Power.
Yeah. And we find out, like, on Britt's side that he hasn't even been trying to see Cruz. And then what was so funny is, Britt is, like, leaning on Janet, which is really scary about this whole, like, divorce. But whatever, if Janet's being there for her. And we find out on this episode that Jax has, like, a burner account. And Janet, like, Chantal, Janet's reaction to this was like, oh, my gosh. But, like, I swear, if you look at Janet's face, it's like, she looked like, I'm like, Janet, stop. Like, she was like, that's so uncomfortable. Because like, what's wild to me is that she was acting so uncomfortable about him having a burner when I'm like, dude, you're probably arguing with fans from yours right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Please stop. Stop acting. Cause like literally you have 10 burners. So just stop, And so
I don't
I
think
just
it's bad to have a burner because like maybe you do want to look at things and like things and you can't do any of those things, you know, in the real world and stuff like that. But I think it's crazy if you go and like harass like your people on the show and do weird things or like
well,
that.
no,
That's
his is
what I
a
don't like.
little weird though, because it had like a picture of like Jax Taylor and like a Jax Taylor fan page, basically. Like that is scary. Like have a burner, but what the fuck? Like, you know. But
You know, sometimes you just want something to hype you up one time, like with like maybe just that one comment. So people are like, oh, that's the nice one.
yeah, I swear. But over at Nia's house, it's so funny because her house is a hot mess, but like I could so relate to that, like, you know, and then they have like this like curtain to block out where I'm sure that's like where all the toys are. And
I'm so
um,
happy she moved. Like on social media, she finally moved, and it's like, thank God, because like you know, just like now she has 4 kids, and it's like the kids, what the stuff they bring is crazy.
it's crazy because Chanel, you grew up in a very small house, and your mother's house with 4 kids that were all close in age was the cleanest out of all of her sister's house.
But my mom also was very like she hates stuff. She's like the opposite end of like hoarders. So like we don't even have a Christmas tree because she just hated things. So it's like she hated stuff. So like that's why it was always clean and felt like decluttered because we had nothing. So it's like, and that's
Chantal
like the way
never
you have to
saw
be.
like color plastic toys, like
Never.
and that's why Chantal wanted to sleep out every time, I think.
Well, I like it's crazy because like I've been told that I'm like the way my mom treats me of like my room is disgusting and I have so much stuff just because I had a full closet. Like she literally is delusional.
No, she really is crazy. I will be at her house and I'm drinking coffee. I take a sip, I put it down, and
It's gone.
before I could put it down, it's gone in the sink and washed. And I'm like, ma'am, I was not fucking finished with that, you know? So even when I hosted Thanksgiving, like my mom like just sits there and she was like in the kitchen cleaning my whole kitchen. And I was like, you're giving me anxiety. Go sit down, please.
I wonder if like my mom actually went to a therapist if she really would be diagnosed with OCD because sometimes people say like people who don't like just are very very clean and organized are not they don't have OCD, but I wonder if she would be diagnosed with it because there are other things that I know she can't like she literally can't think of something unless like she's looking at making sure that's done. So I'm like, dude, she must have it. She must have like a degree of it.
I would love our parents all to go to therapy because I just want to like find out why they are the way they are. I really do.
Well, I mean, they've been through a lot, generational drama. They like had to come here to a different country. Like imagine right now taking your kids who are not even at the age that they were, like to a different country and starting over.
But it's like they don't act like that impacted them, you know?
But it did. That's the thing that like they don't show emotions. They don't know anything. They everything is like, you know, in them. So it lashes out as other things.
Okay, speak for your mother. My mom
No, I'm
shows
not talking about lashes out like as like, you know,
No,
abuse.
I'm saying my mom shows so much
Oh,
emotion.
yeah, I know. But
Like
she never says she's like a Jax. She never says like she plays victim. She doesn't say like it's so hard for me because of this. Like she doesn't connect the dots. And I think if she could connect the dots, then maybe she'd be at peace a little bit more.
yeah, man. I swear. Oh my gosh. I prefer. Anyways, I'm so happy Kristen found a stable guy. What's so crazy to me is that out of all the people on this show that were on Vanderpump, Kristen has the best level-headed guy who's just fucking normal. And I love that for her. And I love that he went to Nia and Danny because he knows that they are so in full support. And he's also, isn't he a Midwestern guy?
No, you keep saying that he came from Colorado, I believe.
What is that then?
Denver, like that's like in the west. That's like by them. It's like where Salt Lake City and that area is.
Oh, okay. Well, I heard by the way that if you fly to Denver and from Denver, it is literally the worst turbulence ever. Nia's from Nevada. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I think she said that too. Why? I've been to Denver.
Oh, was it really bad?
I don't remember, and I think like, yeah, I don't remember.
Chantal, do you know where Danny's from?
Is he Midwest?
Yes, he is.
Hey, we're from
Michigan.
Oh wow, like we're in Michigan.
He was born in Three Rivers, Michigan.
Okay.
Wait, Chanel, what's Three Rivers?
Literally no idea.
That's so scary. What the fuck is Three Rivers, Michigan? You guys, I've literally never heard that in my damn life.
Probably a very, no offense, probably a very like white place. But
oh, it's in Kalamazoo, Chantel. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Kalamazoo
It
is I know that.
It's a cute little town, but it's like there's literally nothing. Like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
would be so sad to that's I don't know. It's very I don't know, sheltering, I feel like there. It's like, how far is Kalamazoo from us?
2 hours, hour and a half.
Yeah. That is so interesting because he's from Kalamazoo. Kristen is from Dearborn, Michigan. Which
Yeah, we knew Kristen and Jax were from Michigan.
Kristen's from like 25 minutes from us. And then Jax, where did he grow up?
He grew up in Grand Rapids, I believe. So
okay.
2.5 hours.
Yeah. So yeah, it says a suburb of Detroit.
I think he like moved, but I think he like mentioned Grand Rapids, like his parents live in Grand Rapids or something.
No, he was born in Shelby Township.
Oh gosh.
Ay, por favor. I don't know. Typically, those people don't end up like him. I don't know. But moving along. Sorry, you guys. But anyways, nothing made me happier than Jax being served. Let's talk. I don't even whatever about the rest of this stuff, but let's talk about him on Watch What Happens Live. So Andy started the conversation by telling Jax Taylor that he's received countless messages from people that are just mad that he's at Watch What Happens Live and that people believe that Jax should not be given this platform. And Andy is literally saying this to his face. And Jax says, like, first of all, I just want to apologize to everybody who's watching this right now. It's just the stuff that was shown is pretty triggering to a lot of people. And, I'm watching it back and I watch the episodes now, which is first, and you watch it back and it's like, I'm utterly embarrassed by my actions. And I just don't believe it. And, during the episode, he said that he was like so happy that other people have issues when it came to the Danny Boko thing. And I think Andy asked him about that. And Jax just said, like, nobody should ever have to deal with the way I acted. Nobody should have to deal with, the verbal abuse from anybody. I'm really sorry that people had to see all that. And then then Andy asked if Taylor was sorry to Brittany, to which Jax said, very sorry to Brittany. It was a very, very tough year for both of us. And that he's 201 days sober, which that's good. Mm-hmm. He says, I have my therapist. He says that he does drug testing. He's like, I have my therapist do it when I go to therapy. It was kind of a big deal. I don't have to do it legally, but you know what? I want to be held accountable. Brittany has drug tests at the house. You can drug test me anytime you want. To be honest with you right now, the drugs isn't my issues. I've got a lot of other issues that I've got to deal with: my ego, my anger, my control, my manipulation, all those things.
Okay. Well, I mean, if the first step is acknowledging, but it's like, why are we still here where we're at?
The thing with him,
he always does this. Like when he goes on reunions and on these platforms, he makes it like he's done so much, and then in the headlines we'll see something.
He kind of reminds me. He kind of reminds me of Tamra.
Oh gosh.
I know he's like obviously worse, but I'm just saying, like, in the sense where, like, we've heard it before. We've heard you say, like, I'm sorry, I'm going to be better, I'm going to do this, and then like it's one time, like, I believe in second chances, but when it's multiple times, like, just stop,
At least with Tamra, she's like good to the people she loves. Like Jax not good to anybody.
Eddie would divorce her in 2 seconds if she talked back to him. So
exactly. So, but like at least she knows her boundaries with that, and like she is good to the people she loves. She just like she's Jax when she hates that person.
Yeah. What do we think about Next Gen?
You guys, I'm sorry. Like, I hope like you guys are not loving it, because this episode was not it. Like, it just, I think like the first 2 episodes, really learning the characters, like, oh, they might be interesting. I still love the Housewives kids, and I think we need to make a show about that more, and I think I would like it more. But this Charlie guy, this Georgia girl, I don't like them. So like now I don't care to watch it.
Well, there was a scene that
I know. I want to bring up 3 scenes, and that's really that all I want to really bring up on this is that so we see the one, like, I just like bring up the housewives and their parents, to be honest, because I just think it's the most relatable and like it's the most interesting. But there was a scene with Seth and Brooks's dad, Seth, Seth and Meredith, but it was just Seth and Brooks, and like they were golfing, and like I guess like Seth had made it a big deal that Brooks like grew up golfing, took him to like golf clubs, like, just funny because I never knew that about him. And he brings up his boyfriend, so we find out Brooks has a boyfriend, and he was like, does your boyfriend golf? And then Seth goes, like, so tell me about your sex life or something. And then Brooks like is dying. He's like, I'm not gonna talk to my dad about my sex life. And he's like, do you tell your mom? And he goes, yeah. And so he's like, okay, so like, why can't you tell me? Like, isn't that funny? Because like what we typically see is like a guy would be more comfortable telling his dad than their mom. And like, this situation is different. He's just so like, him and Meredith are literally best friends. And like, he tells Meredith everything. And like, he doesn't tell Seth anything.
It's weird though, because like my husband he has great parents. He would never talk about that with his parents.
Yeah. And some people wouldn't even talk about sex at all with their parents. But like, if like, usually you would think that a girl would probably talk to the girl, the boy would talk to the boy, like, just like that kind of stuff. Obviously it's not the same situation, but like, it's just funny to see that he's like really like saying like, please just like tell me, like, I want to be involved too. Like, I want to know.
Yeah.
And he literally even asked him, he's like, so what's his sex? Like, what's his head count? He's like, you should know these things. Like, you should ask your boyfriend these things. I'm like, oh my God, I was dying.
Ay, por favor.
I know, but Seth seems so much cooler. Like, he also was like, do you want me to talk to this Charlie kid for you? Like, this guy never really had a stable dad growing up. So like, Seth really looks at himself as like this like very good stable dad, and like was there for his kids. And like, I don't know, I just like, you just see such different sides to these people on different shows, like,
right.
Yeah, he seemed way more like likable and human to me.
Yeah.
And then we see the next thing I want to talk about is Gia and Teresa. So we see Gia and Teresa at their house in Jersey Shore, or not Jersey Shore, at the New Jersey. And Gia's like, I know, Gia's like, Mom, I'm gonna have like a pool party here. And then like Teresa's like, oh, I'm so mad I'm not gonna be here. And she's like, well, I have cameras. And so she's like telling Gia, you guys, and Gia's like 24, like, don't jump on the trampoline, don't let anyone drink. Like, it was so funny seeing Teresa be like that. It's like she was so scared, like having her kids have a party when she's not there, even though they're older, and it's like for the show. But she was like, it's like, we haven't seen that side of her in so long, like seeing that like protective side of her, like with her kids. And like, it was just so funny. And she was like, yeah, I just got she did laser. So girls, if you've done laser, anybody, she's like, they didn't numb my butthole area. And she's like literally reenacting. Like, I just love Teresa, the way she was reenacting, like how she's like, it was just so funny. And like, these are the moments of the show that I like watching. And I'm sure people agree. Like, I don't care to find out about Charlie's past, because we have no connection to Charlie. And he comes off very like, just like a spoiled brat. Like, he's just not, I just don't like them. And this whole episode was about Charlie.
Do you think that they're not showing Gia enough?
No, they're not at all. But I also, you guys, like, this is a show about Next Gen NYC. She lives in Jersey. Like, unless they're doing an event, she can't just like, like a lot of these things, it seems like they're texting people last minute and saying, hey, let's go out, let's do this. And like, so like, we'll get to this scene I think you want to talk about with Riley and Charlie on the bus. Is that what you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, before that scene, like, they all went out randomly, and like Ariana and them all went, but it's like, I'm sure they make those plans that day or like the day before, and it's too hard for Gia, who probably has more structure and like she's out there, to literally travel. Like, and I think you thought it was like an hour, but everyone was telling you with the traffic, it could be like 3 hours to get into New York City.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like, you would have to leave so early just to get there, and then like, imagine having to come back.
Because remember we went from New York to, we went to Jen Aiden's house, and it didn't seem that bad.
Yeah, but we were like on the very tip of like Hoboken area, which is like literally a bridge across to New York.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you want me to talk about this?
Yeah, we can get to the scene. So they all go out. And they're on the bus though. So they're retelling, like, Charlie's telling Riley, like, hey, like, I didn't like that you were mean to these girls. So when they went out, apparently, like, a lot of them went home. And it's funny because like Ariana and them, they like hate going out. So they're so happy to go home. And some people, like, they're just like used to being out till like 4 a.m. in New York City, but Riley and Georgia were still with Charlie at this point. And apparently they like were, from their point of view, they ditched them. But then from Charlie's point of view, like, they were very rude to these two girls that him and this other kid, I don't even know his name, were hanging out with. And so when he's telling Riley this on the bus in front of everybody, and they're all going to Gia's house, when he's telling like Riley on the bus, he kind of starts, doing these microaggressions, which they say. So like, moving his finger, making it seem like she was like a very angry, Black woman. And that gets Riley very upset. And she's like, that is not true. Like, that is unfair for you to say. And, like, I agree with her. Like, it's just, anybody saying anything about your character when it's like really what's farthest from the truth would get anyone upset. I can't feel like why she feels the way she does about the microaggressions and him portraying, like, I've never been in that situation. But I think you have to listen to somebody and say like, okay, like, maybe I'm learning something from this person. Like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But they kind of leave the bus like pissed off. Okay, what did you feel about the whole like situation of him explaining it
I
to
mean,
her?
here's my thing with that situation is, first off, we say this a lot. People need to take a self-awareness class, okay? She says like what you're trying to do here is trying to make me look like the scary black person, and that's a microaggression, because here's what he was doing. He was like saying that she was like, when he showed what she did, he was like pointing the finger and like
Like move
rolling
the
the neck.
finger, like being like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like it's a microaggression, and it's 100% what he's doing. And it's like, are you stupid? Like, are you actually dumb? And that's not even what happened. And it was frustrating to watch
I think that's the biggest thing right there. It's like, if that's not even what I was doing, if I wasn't you're like making it seem like I made these girls feel so uncomfortable, and like, and it's like, that's not even the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just like, it took him a second to understand. I think I was glad that Ava was speaking up for her, but it's still like, it was just, I don't know. It was very frustrating to watch. And 100% she was valid in everything she was saying, because she's like, do not do me like that. That didn't even happen. And it's like a stereotype that you're doing right now, and you're pressing that on me. And I don't know, it's obviously like a clear microaggression. And I think, it's honestly good to see something like that on TV for people to learn and to be like, no, like you are, that's not how you should ever say that to anybody. And especially when it didn't happen. Like, you don't know what she faces on a day. And I don't know, I was very frustrated just basically watching that.
He's just
And
he's just such an asshole, because they get to Gia's house, and so he apologizes to her, but then he goes and tells other people that he really didn't mean the apology. He was just doing it just to move on. So like, and then then that gets back to Riley, and Riley is just like, what the hell? And then even Riley has a conversation with Ava and was like, and Ava's like, I'm sorry, because I was trying to have his back and be his PR and like trying to have him understand. She goes, you should be mad too. Like, you're a black woman too. You should be mad. You should be explaining this stuff to him, So like, she really was pissed off, and she even gets on the phone with her mom, Candy, and like tells Candy the situation, and Candy was like, oh hell no. And she was just like, you didn't grow up like in New York City to really to deal with these type of people, but you're gonna deal with them, and I'm happy you said something, and I'm happy you like spoke your truth, and you made it seem like you're not gonna portray me as that. Candy's a great mom. Just I've never seen it a lot in Atlanta. I don't know if you guys got to see it a lot, but she's a great mom. She gives great advice.
she advocates so much for her children. Like, there was like a crack in her voice too when she was talking to her, and she has raised such a strong woman in Riley. And I don't know, like it like broke my mama heart, because I'm like, dude, like if I'm ever in situations where like my kid is calling me and telling me something, obviously not that, but just like anything, I don't know. She
That's
had
so good sometimes to like let your kids explore different areas and like not always just be in one city and one home, because like they do learn a lot. It's like she like went to New York, for school, and it's like you start to learn and you start to see things and you start to see how you have to deal with different people. And I think it's just such a great tool for growth and like know what to do in certain situations.
Yeah. So overall, like, how are you liking the show? I actually do see that even on our Patreon, a lot of people are like, I like it.
I mean, I did like it. I liked it too. I liked it the first 2 episodes. I thought it was pretty good. I liked her. I like Ariana. I think she should be the show, to be honest. But this episode was very Charlie focused, and I did not like that. And I don't like him. I think he's literally like a spoiled brat. He thinks that this show was because of him or something. And like, he probably doesn't like how like the Housewives
Listen,
kids are
Chantal,
getting.
maybe it was pitched as that. I'm starting to believe it was pitched as like a New
Maybe.
York show, and then they added these people.
And you're right. But like, it's like, what's the reason why any of us are watching, to be honest? Because like, if none of the New York kids were on here, they would have to find different people. And it still wouldn't vibe to me then. Like, I wouldn't watch it, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't watch the show.
Yeah. But someone I did see on X, and someone was like, okay, but imagine if Charlie wasn't on the bus, they would literally all be doing nothing in there.
I know. I'm sure they need these characters for sure. And like they keep like, it's like the third episode still, and we're still bringing up like the Brooks drama of like the sister. It's like they have no drama. So like they didn't do a great thing on the casting maybe, or they try to do too much with mixing, Housewives kids versus not. So it just doesn't vibe.
I don't like Brooks. I don't know, man. So people love him. So
I don't have
for
a problem
me,
with him.
for me, with him being main character, it's very hard to watch.
I think because he's actually friends with a lot of these people, and he like lives in New York right now. So I just, I don't mind him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
like it's not. I feel like if we, we're gonna get Miami, we have Miami. We'll see. Like I don't know if I want to continue to
I
talk
think
about it,
once
but you tell
I
us.
feel like when Orange County comes back, I don't know unless it gets significantly better. I don't know that I want to recap Next Gen, but I guess we'll
Yeah.
see. You guys let us know.
We
But
can recap Love Island for you guys every day.
yeah, I know. I told Chantel because we had one of our listeners say, can you guys just do Love Island every day? And I was like, Chantel, they want us to do Love Island. But the thing is, I want our listeners, because a lot of our listeners are so like Bravo heavy, but most of our listeners have Peacock, and I want them to watch Love Island. Like I want them to be into it so that they're also into it. And I love hearing their opinion. Like I was on our Patreon live chat yesterday, and I was like going off about Love Island with our listeners.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for listening. A little bit of a long episode, Roxanne got a little off topic, so
Seriously, I have to go to work.
all right. Well,
and so do you.
I know we will do I know that we said we were like doing a Love Island recap, but when Chantal has time, either today or tomorrow, we'll just do like a Love Island
a Love Island midweek.
Yeah, because there's no episode Wednesday, Chantal, so we should recap Monday and Tuesday's episode. And then we have Miami left.
Yes.
All righty. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We love you guys. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.